Hey everybody, in this video it's called Why Is It So? I'm going to do a little explaining off of the diagram I gave out upon saying what the Illuminati is. You see, back in the olden days, people had their quote-unquote spirituality. Once they gathered an army, it became a religion. You can easily look into the Tree of Life for this, okay? The nation was, uh, what was it? The nation was divided and organized by the Tree of Life. Okay, you had let's say in Kabbalah you call it Geburah. All the people that fall under Geburah would be the soldiers. Uh, People that fell under which one is it? The clairvoyance. The seventh sphere. Okay, would be the seers and the creative people and such. And that is how society was basically set up. It was set up using a type of fractal math. You could see this, well, Google TED Talks, uh, fractal maths, and Africa, and they'll show you how the tribes set their stuff up. This thing, it came out of the ether, the abyss, whatever you want to call it. Okay, everything was set up so that the people could live their lives, stay where they are, have children, right, and continue developing their spirituality and pretty much stick together and cultivate themselves in the way they wanted to. Once it became a thing about armies, they started creating security measures, being able to keep an eye on each other. Okay, they couldn't. There were very few people that could become on the Buddha level, so they did it through quote unquote technology. Certain groups use it today, witches' covens use it, where one person can show everybody that's in the coven one thing because they've what is it, exchange energies, or is it fluids, stuff like that. There's primitive ways to do it, and then there's super high spiritual ways to do it. These armies, rivaling factions, basically, if you have somebody that has the supreme power, right? I'm talking the olden days, not today. If you have it today, there's nothing but wars, like what's happening right now. You'd have to develop your own spirituality to be able to break free from that, your own culture, so you could defend your people, right? And if you couldn't, then you develop an army big enough to wipe out the people that had the superior control. That's basically what's happening today. We call it the Illuminati, but we don't realize that they're different factions. Okay, that certain country in Western Asia that I can't name publicly, or they'll come to my house and brainwash my ass again, is going hard. And that's why everybody, including the people that are currently on top right now, are pointing the finger at them because they're being seen. Truth of the matter is, they're probably going to fuck themselves over with how hard they're going. But they're pretty confident in what they can do. Like, somebody was even brazen enough to say, send a missile towards the Vatican, towards Sicily, which I thought was, I mean, they haven't gotten wiped out, so apparently their power must really be rivaling that. Alright, so the spiritual practices were thought of as technologies. I'm sure you heard of in the Bible where the Lord does not like the practices of the Nicolaitans. They were probably baby sacrificers. The Lord don't like ugly, and that shit is ugly. Or they were probably sinful people. How do I put this? you're you live. Oh God, how do I put this? I like with the covens. These covens, they have like a ton of witches in them, right? And let's say the head witch gets all the crowns from all the other witches underneath them. So she becomes a bigger, more heightened persona, uh, a greater being. She could see more. She could uh, cause it to rain, uh, bring down lightning from the sky. Sound familiar? I probably should use the Bible and the disciples instead of witches, shouldn't I? Okay. Um, okay, I'll say use Jesus. Jesus said, I remember one part, he said, don't be afraid to go there because I have many people there. He had many converts, people who had come into his sphere of being, people who had turned themselves over to him because he was their Lord. His greatness was unchallengeable, and that's the real reason they physically killed him. Do you understand? Let's look at Egypt. Egypt was the city of God. It was called the city of God because, quite literally, um, the Lord there was tremendous. You know what I mean? Even if the wicked ones were in the city, the Lord would see them and cast them out. There aren't. I'm sorry. I'm getting off topic, sort of. Basically, right now, what you have is this major struggle between sects. Okay, since all of this ancient knowledge has come to life, people are now trying to become their own lords. They're sort of having a pax spiritualist or some shit like that, trying to create a one world government where everybody's this and that is respected and blah 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 yakety schmackety. That's why they're trying to take white people out. They're actually taking out Islam first, then they're gonna take out Christianity. And you say, hey, what about Judaism? Right. Look at my featured video. Um, yes, okay. So, there are people who don't look at religion, don't care about it, and actually only have their spirituality, and they only refer to it as technology. As you know, they have every right to. For instance, the Chinese and Gigong and the I Ching and stuff like that. They look at it as a technology, and they have every fucking right to. That stuff is amazing. But if you order an army under something like that, it becomes a religion, whether you want to name it or not. You know, I guess since they don't officially call it a religion, you don't know what's what or where the order is or who's doing what with whom. Hmm. That is not completely what it is. There are more moving parts. There are more elements. There's more uh, factions. And, you know, pretty much I don't want to say it's a signal of the time of the end, but really people should pay really close attention to that part of the of Revelations where it says, "Behold, I am coming like a thief." What did he steal? And from who?